guys? What's going on? Clay Smith from Sinister Knives. This is Eugene Honrath with Shadow Warriors, and we're here with Meet the Maker. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good, good, good. All right, so give me a little. I know I said your name, but give me a little synopsis on your name, your company's name, your background, and some of the products that you guys create.
Okay, as Eugene said, I'm Clay Smith with Sinister Knives. Pretty new company, or I suppose a company. I'm small-time knife maker. Had a couple ideas for some knives after trolling around EDC pages for a few months, and decided I'd go ahead and give it a shot and see if I could come up with something that people were interested in. Okay. And seemed to have gotten a little bit of interest, and we're going from there.
Nice,
so
nice. What's your background? Like, what do you do as a regular job?
I'm actually in aerospace. Here where I live, it's that's kind of the primary career for most people is to be in aerospace aircraft industry, and that's because we have Boeing, Cessna, Learjet, stuff like that, mostly primarily aircraft oriented stuff. So my background is non-destructive testing.
Okay.
And so I do ultrasonics on composite aircraft materials for a living.
Nice.
And so
where are you located at in the world?
I'm in Wichita, Kansas, right in the middle of the country. So,
nice. Okay. And tell me about the products that Sinister makes currently. Like, what's your main flagship product that you have now?
Right now, the thing that seems to be of everybody's interest is the Battle Bean.
Okay.
And that was a concept of bottle poppers and pry bar combo tools seemed to be pretty popular at the time. And I thought my initial idea was to be able to make a knife that had a bottle popper, and the end of it was ground with a small pry, and it would be kind of a knuck as well. And okay. that got whittled down into the necessities of what looked best and what would work best, and that came out to be a knife / bottle popper combo, okay. which seemed to look the best and seemed to function the best. You can't cram everything into one thing. No, you end up with the Swiss Army bean instead of a battle bean.
Yeah, true. I like it. So tell me about the name Sinister. How did you come about that?
Well, Sinister Knives. Sinister is actually Latin for left or left-handed, okay. And I'm left-handed, and I was frustrated with a lot of the EDC pages. I would go through there and see beautiful knives that were super cool, but the presentation side was right-handed. Oh. And so if I stuck it in my pocket and pulled it out, I'd have a clip staring at me, and the lock bar side and stuff like that. And I thought, man, this is, every now and then, just as a rarity, a left-handed custom flipper will pop up. And so I'm obviously not making flippers and stuff like that yet, but my concept was that I would try to make something left-handed friendly, I suppose.
Okay.
But so that's what my maker's mark is, actually my hand, and that's my left hand print to kind of symbolize that I've put my hands on that, and built it. So that's the idea behind Sinister.
And I'll tell you that I would never have assumed any of that, and you don't really see that floating around because you just think Sinister, so you think like bad or
everybody thinks I was just looking for a kind of a cool name or some something that sounded tough or something like that, and it actually has a little bit of meaning behind it. So
no.
I sat down and put a couple of minutes of thought into that one.
I like it. Is there anyone else in the company or behind the name helping you out, or is it just you?
No, other than support from my friends and obviously my wife and my family and stuff. I think like most guys, it's just a one-man operation, and I think that stems a lot from not not having the ability to let other people do the stuff for you
Yeah.
without double checking it. You know, all these guys, it's your stuff, it's got your name on it, and you can't trust that to somebody else. So it's
So
just got to be you doing it, and you only.
So you've got a little bit of a attention to detail. It has to be just so.
Yeah. I mean, anything like that. It doesn't matter if it's knives or if it's working on a motorcycle. It's got to be double checked if I didn't do it, because I don't know what that other person did. So,
No, I like it. I like it. So tell me a little bit about. So I know that when did you start being a knife maker, or when did you? I know that's kind of a weird for me to call you that, but when did you start this?
It's weird to hear. Well, early this year, like I said, I was kind of fooling around and made a couple concept things. I got some interest in it. And, I cut out my first knife blank in February of this year. Did my first heat treat I think in the beginning of March.
Okay.
And, and so I am probably as green as you can get in the knife making world. There's probably a lot of guys that maybe think I shouldn't be doing it yet until I've got some more experience and stuff. But I have definitely stuck my nose in the book and done as much research as I could, and done a lot of asking around too. There's a lot of guys that'll offer up information that you wouldn't think. They've spent years acquiring that information, and you would think it would be a trade secret or just something that they want you to find out on your own. And surprisingly enough, a lot of guys will just flat out tell you, here's how I do it. Go give it a shot,
Nice.
So
nice.
a lot of good guys out there that'll definitely help you out.
So you kind of mentioned the left-handed thing and seeing a lot of knives that were more right-handed with the presentation side. Is that what kind of compelled you to do it, or had you always been kind of tinkering around with things and you were like, hey man, I need to get into this? Was it money? Was it self-expression? What made you cut that first knife blank out in February or earlier this year and kind of get into this?
I've always been a little on the artistic side. I like, I've always done, I've been into motorcycles, and I've always done a little bit of painting or pinstriping or airbrushing and, just different things. So I've dabbled in a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and it seemed like a good fit to sit down and draw a concept and then be able to take that concept on paper and turn it into, a tangible, an item in your hand, and go, wow, that came out okay. Let's try that again. Let's try something different this time. And so it definitely wasn't money, because I think a lot of people don't realize, you run you buy materials and you buy consumables, and some guys use different places for heat treating. I'm doing my own heat treat. Okay. You run an oven at 1400 degrees for a couple hours, and the meter out back is spinning 100 miles an hour. There's at the end of making and selling a knife, I suppose if you were aiming to make money, you could do it, but it's definitely not about making money.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's usually about making enough money to buy the next set of materials for the next set of knives, and so.
That's real, man. That's real. So tell me a little bit about your flagship product and the Battle Bean, and if you've got one to show us, I'd love that. And some of the
I have. We've got. I'm outside here and it's cold today, so I'm trying to keep my nose from running here. We've got. So this guy here is the one I posted up the other night, and this is Voodoo Resins. For the life of me, I can't remember the name of this blue that Matt sells, but it is, in the sunlight, it is just beautiful. I mean, it lights up, and
it looks unreal right now.
This is a new model. The first round that I did, I had some concerns about durability, and everybody uses their knives different. Some people buy them and they end up in a dresser drawer, and some people buy them and they just beat the hell out of them.
Yep.
And so when you've got both ends of the spectrum like that, you've got to be, it occurred to me that it's got to be built to be sold to anybody,
Yep.
that's going to use it in any manner. And so, excuse me, having said that, I've changed some of the design on it, and we're using a quarter-inch aluminum backspacer and aluminum liners as well. I don't know if you could see in there a little bit.
Yep. Yep.
And using stainless steel pivot pins and stainless steel hardware to hold it together. And of course, that's all subject to change depending on what look is going for. It might be black hardware, or I've got a couple of them going right now for a guy that wants glow spacers on there. So those will have to be drilled out and have a threaded tube in the back of them, and to maintain that same amount of durability and stuff. But one of the new things we got going is I've got this new material I'm calling Moon Rock.
Whoa.
And what it is, this isn't polished, but it is aluminum. I don't want to say foam, but it's a type of aluminum foam. It kind of looks like meteorite, and when it is polished,
that looks like it's jelly in your hands.
It's actually pretty cool material. Maybe you can see down in it a little better now that it's got some oil on it.
Oh man!
But it's got cells in it, kind of like a meteorite. And so what I've done on this one is I've poured glow resin in the bottom of it, and then clear resin over the top of that, so you can still see down into the cells of it. But of course, it glows. And then, so we're doing turned aluminum on the inside of it. So when you open the knife, the inside will be fancy looking, but that's got the aluminum liner on it, and those will be one-sided. That'll be a presentation side knife, and that'll be the first, and I don't know how many, but that'll be the first left-handed presentation side, friction folder knife concept. So that's a few of them. We got some carbon fiber from Keith at is it Kansas Carbon, I believe is what it's called, but he makes some awesome carbon fiber, and you can see this, it's kind of got glitter in it. And he makes, I don't know if he bills it as aerospace grade carbon fiber, but if it's not, it's damn close, because it's low void, great carbon fiber stuff. And then of course Matt at Voodoo Resins making this killer stuff. I got a set of pine scales here, and this is going on Clay Stowell's knife to match Jason Carl Glover's knife that he built him. So he's going to have a matching battle beam for his Mammoth Creek knife, which should be pretty damn cool whenever that's all said and done too. So.
Yeah, listen, if you would have told me that you only started in February, I would have told you you're lying.
Well, I've had a lot of ideas rolling around, and it's just, it's kind of finally come to the point where I've got the tools that I need, and just enough experience to tear stuff up and then have to do it again and get it right. But it's definitely trial and error, and it seems like once I can get it down,
yep.
I've got it down. But you've got to go through that learning curve, and it can kick your ass sometimes for sure.
Yeah.
So,
No. That's the battle beam's looking good, man, and it kind of leads right into my next question. Is it sounds like you're already doing custom work. You're not just saying, hey, I only do this material and I only do it this way. It sounds like you're kind of bending to your customer in terms of custom work. So you're doing custom work?
Well, I think you have to. The whole idea of a custom knife is giving the person what they want, and I'd love to sit down and make 20 knives of stuff that I think is cool, but there might be, I might sell 5 of them. There might be 15 sitting there where people they don't have the same taste that I do, and they're not. There's no interest in it. So you got to give the people what they want, and I think that's where it lies.
No, absolutely. I think you're doing exactly what you would assume that most people would do, but sometimes people are scared to do that kind of custom work, and they want to do that standard, this is all that I offer kind of deal. So I've already seen some crazy stuff from you. I appreciate you showing us that. What's the craziest request you've received since you've started? Or maybe a question of, can you do this?
I've got one that I'm operating on right now, and it wasn't necessarily a request, but I had a buddy given the line of work that I'm in aerospace stuff, I know other guys that are obviously in that industry, and after having a conversation about knives and what I was doing, I had a friend of a friend that said, "Hey, I've got something in my garage that you might want, and maybe you can make some a knife or a knife handle out of it." And I said, "Okay, well, what do you have?" And so he brings me over this honeycomb core panel, and I said, "So, what do we got here?" And it's got an 1/8-inch titanium face sheet on it, and it's titanium honeycomb core, and the bonding agent is silver. And I said, "What the hell is this?" And he says, "Well, it's an F-22 Raptor panel." And I said, "Okay." Well, I said, "What do you want?" He said, "You can have it. It's just laying in my garage collecting dust. We were doing testing on it, and I don't need it." So, so I'm actually working on a knife for a buddy of mine, and he's in the aerospace industry as well. But I will tell you that titanium is there's a who's that, David Wolf. He does a lot of titanium knives, and I got a whole new respect for him, because titanium is definitely a lot more difficult to work with. But I've got right here is a scale. This is going to be, I don't think you can see it scribed on the back, but this is going to be a handle, and it's going to have an 1/8-inch titanium liner. And then this is full. This is about the same thing as the, it's got glow resin inside of it, and then clear resin over the top of it. And so those will be the knife handles. And then I've got another one cut out, and it's going to be, let's see if I can get some oil on this so you can see it. And I'm hoping that we will have an F-22 Raptor battle beam out of this right here. And so that's the same thing, 1/8-inch titanium honeycomb core, which I would challenge anybody to get a hold of a chunk of titanium honeycomb core. It's not going to happen. So this has this has titanium monster metal flake inside of it. I don't know if you can see that off of this video. But so that is hopefully going to be a battle beam here soon, and probably the one and only one that'll ever be made, because obviously the material that I have is limited. I still have a chunk of it, but it is a special occasion piece of material for sure.
Brought to you only by Sinister Knives.
That's right. That's right.
All right,
you will not get an F-22 Raptor knife anywhere else.
No, you
from
won't.
anybody else.
That is insane, man. I appreciate you sharing that for us. So I know that
Absolutely.
you're making money on these, in terms of whether you're making a lot of money or a little bit of money, you're making money. Have you had anyone come to you and want to barter with you?
Yeah, sure. I've had a couple guys that want to barter, and being as new as I am and just getting going, and I'm a knife guy too. I love everybody else's stuff, and so if I got a guy that comes to me and wants to swap knives, I'm usually game for that. If it doesn't interfere with what I've got going on, or if I have the material on hand and we can do something like that, and if it's even, then obviously I'll be game for that. So I'm not opposed to it. I don't have a strict policy of saying no, I won't trade with anybody anytime, but on occasion I will see something that I've got to have, and I'll say, yeah, sure, pick something out, I'll make it for you, and we'll trade. So
yeah, the knife addiction is hard to beat, right?
It runs pretty deep. It runs pretty deep. My PayPal account just is like a rolling. Money goes in, it comes right back out.
Yeah, so. Someone asked me the question the other day, well, why isn't your wife part of Shadow Warriors? And I was like, I don't want her a part of it.
Because she would know how much I spend. Yeah, why is your name on this raffle again? Yeah. I would, I think we probably better leave that one.
Yeah.
Leave that one where it is.
Absolutely. So what's come your way that you've been pretty surprised by? If you can tell us, I know that some of that stuff's between maker and maker, but in terms of the barter, what's something that you've been like, yeah, I don't think mine's worth that? Something you can share with us.
Geez, I've only had a couple guys want to barter knives with me, and I didn't have to think too hard about that. I looked at their stuff and thought, man, that's really cool shit. I got to have one of those, you know. But I've done a little bit of bartering for. I've got, what is that? Some Moby slips that I've got a guy making for me, and some Hanks and stuff like that, you know. And so if you know if it evens out in the wash, then I don't have a problem doing stuff like that. But I haven't had a ton of people wanting to barter with me, but
Not yet.
Here and there. Not yet.
Wait till after this interview airs, and people are going to be blowing up your inbox.
Well, now that's something I probably ought to mention, is that as of right now, my list is full, and so I'm going to be completing that list, and I will be doing drops on the Sinister Knives page, and I will put kind of a heads up out there on the other pages, and certainly notification on Shadow Warriors to let everybody know that there will be, you know, at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, there will be 10 battle beans for sale. If you want them, come and get them, you know. So I think that's probably the method that I'll have to go to maintain a full-time job and try to keep everybody happy, because I'm spending every spare minute just about in my shop working on stuff as it is,
including the family.
Yeah. I've got a wife and 4 kids, so there's you know, I have to scratch and claw for spare time sometimes just to get out here. We've got kids that play sports, and you gotta really be diligent about your free time, and getting out there and getting out there and using it to its full potential, because it comes and goes quick.
Yeah, there's only so many hours in the day. But hey, so just a quick recap, your name, where people can look at your knives. I'll include all the social media links in the comments here, and any posts that we do on Facebook. But just a quick recap of your company and the Battle Bean, and where they can find it at.
Sure. Clay Smith. Battle Bean is on Sinister Knives. I am on Instagram. I'm not real active on there, but on Instagram it's Bud809, and you shouldn't have any trouble finding it, because it's got plenty of pictures of battle beans on there. But appreciate everything, taking the time to talk to me today, and getting my kind of my story out there. So I appreciate it.
Hey man, thank you so much, and we look forward to some battle beans being released. Thanks, brother.
Thank you. Have a good one.